Hello and welcome to this channel. This is an original fiction audio image book. If you are new to the channel, you're welcome. Stick around for amazing stories, and if you like our content, please like, share, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell. The Childhood of the Earth, Chapter 8, Planets Turned Envious. Anant and Omaria had arrived on the earth. All the elements of the earth were eagerly awaiting them. Omaria and Anant landed on a vast plain close to a riverbank. At an interval of several million years, in accordance with the human calculations, Omaria created amphibians, mammals, and massive reptiles. The earth and her friends welcomed all the creatures with warmth and fondness. The dinosaurs of the reptile class were cold blooded. Some of the massive dinosaurs found it difficult to move about. They were advised to try out in mass water bodies like rivers and oceans. These dinosaurs found it easier to move about in water. They felt lightweighted and enjoyed going about. But then they were reminded of Anant, who had cautioned them about having an enormous body which would make their walking around very difficult. Gradually, the dinosaurs found it comfortable to live either on land or waters in different parts of the planet Earth and began living their lives in coordination with other creatures. The planets of the Torosome groups were watching this scenario on the Earth. They began to feel edgy and jealous of the Earth. They were thinking why the Earth was getting so much. Why doesn't Omare pay any attention to them? This way, the planets of the Torosome groups began instigating other planets of the solar system. Then they saw a mass of brightness heading towards them. Those were Anant and Omare. They came and stood before the planets. All the planets fell silent. Those planets became disrespectful. Jealousy made them insolent. They failed to welcome Omare and Anant. Their impudence was noticed by Omare and Anant. Omare asked fondly, "My dear planets, why do you all look so agitated? Should anybody of you have a problem, you may tell us without any reservation." "You care more than necessary about Earth," Krotham said cheerlessly. When one planet spoke, thus all the planets were emboldened to voice their grievances. "Why do you give so much importance to the Earth?" a smaller meteor asked. "Have you planned anything for us or not?" Vopsur asked agitatedly. Omare heard everybody silently. Perhaps Omare didn't expect the planets to air their grievances in this manner. But Anant's eyebrows were raised high with loss of temper. He could not control his anger. As if a star was to burst, Anant's bloodshot eyes glared. Hojimoto's plan seemed to have succeeded. All the planets, as well as Anant, were seething with terrible anger. Omare realized the situation. He sensed that if Anant was not restrained, some calamity may occur. "Brother, just let me teach a lesson or two to these nuisance makers," Anant uttered angrily. All the planets were shocked. Jealousy, ego, and anger enveloped them. They looked at Anant resentfully. Placing his hand on Anant's shoulder, Omare turned him around to face him. Looking at him affectionately, Omare said, "Don't get wild, Anant. These planets are not to be blamed. We must strive to bring to path those who have lost their senses and are misguided." "Please pardon me, brother, but these insolent idiots won't improve by sooth talking. How could they have the temerity to speak to you in such a manner?" Anant retorted angrily. Quickly, Omare realized the circumstances, and instantly Anant led back to their home. After a while, Omare appeared before the Torosome group of planets in the form of an image. Omare said, "The Earth and the creation of life on it was my first plan. Whatever errors and shortcomings have been created could be rectified in the subsequent plans, and the other planets would be benefited. Your development would have surely been ensured, but you have yourselves prolonged the progress." Omare's image addresses all the planets. All the planets were rotating around the sun. The planets of the Torosome groups were engaged in muted discussion. By this time, they saw Anant alone. He seemed to be seething with suppressed anger. "Have you come to fight?" Krotham asked loudly. "I will show you just now what is called a fight," Anant roared. Wait a moment, Anant, Wopsur said. We have to move within the limits set by Omario. Grant us freedom from it and then see how we can deal with your anger. Omare has gifted you with emotions and dynamism which have swelled you up so much that you have become loud-mouthed, Anant bellowed. If that's so, I will enter within your limits. Anant thought it was improper to draw out the planets from their limits set by Omare and fight them. Earlier also, he had played havoc with the dinosaurs without the consent of Omare. He didn't want to repeat the mistake. Let it be, Anant, the son tried to intervene. Why quarrel with such idiots? Son, I asked you to just watch everything silently, Anant said. The earth too was about to say something, but she kept mum, thinking it was of no use to say anything. Anant was ready to fight. Watching his angry look, the planets of the Torosome group were terribly frightened. But there was no avail. Anant was seething with anger. Mustering enough courage, Wopsur led first attack on Anant. Dodging his assault, Anant lunged a punch that sent Wopsur reeling away. Watching this, Krotham and other Torosomes began running away. Anant ran after Krotham. Catching him, Anant showered him with mighty punches. Seeing all this tumultus and ruckus, the Earth and the other planets got frightened. There was no end to the fear of Torosomes. Within a flash of eyelids, Anant attacked the Torosomes and flattened a few to dust. Some of them were turned into small rocks and meteors. Whichever Torosome planet got closer to Anant's kicks and blows was devastated. In the meantime, Omare appeared on the scene. Anant held himself. Wopsur was struggling for breath that was crushed under his feet. What do you think you are doing, Anant? Omare asked somberly. Anant lifted his leg off Wopsur. Stumbling, Wopsur scampered away from there. Do you realize you have created a lot of debris of rocks and meteors and how hazardous they are for the earth? The mention of the earth evoked jealousy among the huffing Torosomes. Taking along Anant, Omare left for their home. On the devious star, reaching home, Omare narrated the incident that occurred in the solar system. Narayan sat calmly staring at Anant, listening to Omare. Having heard everything, Narayan said, Anant, prepare yourself to go to the School of Knowledge tomorrow. All this happened in this space. All this time, Narayan was just watching Anant. After hearing whatever was done by Omare, Narayan told Anant to be prepared to go to the School of Knowledge. Anant stood sullenly. He felt he had committed great error. Anant went over to Narayan and fell to his feet. Holding him by shoulders, Narayan lifted Anant and held him in his embrace warmly. Anant was grief-stricken. His throat was choked with emotion. He found it difficult to speak. As Narayan stroked Anant's head affectionately, his feeling of grief was eased. Omare was watching this calmly. Regaining composure, Anant said, Father, the sway of anger is terrible. I lose my self-control under the influence of anger. Lovingly, Narayan said, My dear son Anant, I understand your problem. Forget whatever has happened in the past. Study with due concentration and calm at the School of Knowledge. You shall be able to keep anger under control. Anant was enthused by the soothing words of his father. On the other hand, uneasy calm prevailed in the universe. Dust clouds and rocks were strewn in place due to beatings of the Torosomes. Out of nowhere, a red-hot fireball came hurtling and began rotating around the planets of the Torosome groups. It was the largest of all other planets. Other planets too were surprised to see an unknown fireball. The fireball went over to the injured planets and began rotating around them. Those planets began to regain lost strength and vigor. How do you feel, Torosomes? The fireball asked loudly. Who is he? Krotham asked angrily. I am Hojimoto, your friend. I hope now you all are relieved of your injury. Yes, we are better now, Wopsur said. Hojimoto spoke grimly. Do you want to avenge Anant? Hearing this, the Torosomes stared at each other. Having thought for a moment, Yes, yes, the Torosomes shouted in unison. We want to avenge him. Looking around, Hojimoto said, I will provide you with devastating power. The sun, the earth, the other planets tried to persuade the Torosomes against being dishonest with Omare. Torosomes did not take note of their advice. Hojimoto asked all the planets from the earth, sun to Uranus to join him. The Earth told Hojimoto, "I don't want to talk to you." Hojimoto looked at the Earth with his dangerous bloodshot large eyes and launched a comet on the Earth. But as the comet entered the atmosphere of the Earth, it was blown to dust and ash. No harm was caused to the Earth. "I will come back again, Earth, and I will tackle you." Hojimoto sounded a warning and left the place accompanied by the Torosomes. This was an amazing part, but it was left on a cliffhanger. Let's see what happens in the next part. Thank you guys for watching this video. For more videos, you can visit our channel. Please like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to turn on the notifications. Comment your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll catch you in the next part. Till then, bye.